The fifth-ranked Trojans of USC against the UCLA Bruins. The Trojans led by Charles White, UCLA by Theodis Brown, two of the best running backs in the country. Los Angeles, California on a clear day. A little haze, a little smog drifting in over what is known as the Los Angeles Basin. And sitting right in the middle of the basin is the Coliseum. And it will be full today with more than 90,000 people showing up for the 48th meeting between the UCLA Bruins and the USC Trojans in football. This is the 20th time the host spot for the Rose Bowl has been on the line in this game. And today, it should be a dandy with two teams loaded with quality players, and enthusiasm for the game really this year has seemingly transcended so many other years. As you look at the Pac-10 standings, this being the first year there have been 10 teams in this particular conference, you can see only the Bruins and the Trojans sit at the top with one loss. UCLA losing last week to Oregon State, Southern California losing to Arizona State in Tempe. As I said, this is the 48th game. Last year, it was another one of those barn burners going down to the last seconds as Frank Jordan hit the field goal to knock UCLA out of the Rose Bowl. The Trojans have a decided edge in the series record, and today the Trojans come onto the field as the considered favorite. So it is UCLA's opportunity to play spoiler. Hello again, everybody. I'm Keith Jackson. I've lived in Southern California in this community for several years now, and I'm always amazed when I drive about it this time of the year at the fervor that reaches through the ranks of this massive population. As many of you know, some 16, 17 million people live within a couple of hours' drive of this Coliseum. But most of them are pretty much consumed today with this particular ball game because I guess, one, they have quality teams, and two, every year it seems it comes down to this particular ball game to have an influence on which team plays in the Rose Bowl. We're going to have the UCLA Bruin Band, the solid gold sound, presenting our national anthem out on a sun-swept field this afternoon, but that's a little bit deceptive because the field is very soggy and soft. It rained here last week when USC played Washington in a key ball game in the Pac-10 standings, and then the Los Angeles Rams and the Pittsburgh Steelers played here on Sunday night, and they literally tore up the natural turf on the Coliseum floor. They've worked on it all week long, and it's pretty well dried out. The temperature today is 72 degrees, but it is still very soft. And as the teams warmed up, you could see them leaving the marks all over the field. So some of the speed may be whittled today by the soft going. But nonetheless, the Coliseum is going to be full of feverish folks because they have come by the almost 100,000 of them to watch. Now let's have our national anthem.
What is your name?
James directing the UCLA Band. With us today is our analyst, Ara Parseghian. Ara, this crosstown rivalry leaves nothing short when it comes to emotion.
Well, you can throw the, you can throw the record books out when it comes to emotion in this ball game. They're going to be both at a high pitch. But psychologically, Southern California is coming off of 4 good weeks of football. Their confidence is going to be high. On the other side of the coin, UCLA is coming off of a disappointing 2-point loss to Oregon State. They've been scorched in the newspapers here. But they've only lost the battle, not the war. They can win the conference championship, and they can also go get the Rose Bowl bid by winning this football game. So it's going to be one real barn burner.
He's just getting over the flu, folks. I don't want to get too close to him. That's why he's a bit raspy. There is one word that reaches through the ranks of both of these teams, in fact, is a staple factor for both of these teams. It's called running.
Well, both teams are blessed with outstanding runners. Charles White for the Southern California Trojans, and of course Theodis Brown for the Bruins. They're entirely different types, with Brown being 220-pounder and Charles White only 183-pounder. He's 5'11", and the thing that's amazing about him is his durability. Carries the ball 28 times a game. We're going to see this many times during this afternoon. Watch White make people miss. He's going to break, I believe, providing he stays healthy, every record that has ever been achieved here by all the backs at tailback at the Southern California. Here's Theodis Brown, 6'2", 220. He believes in that adage that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, as he rambles 74 yards straight down the field. He has been hampered by injuries. He's got a pinched nerve in his neck. It is questionable as to how much action and how durable it will be this afternoon.
On the passing game, the UCLA quarterback Rick Bayshore, coming off an 0-for-10 outing in the loss at Oregon State. He has not had a particularly good year, but the youngster did go 11-for-18 in that thriller last year. But USC's passing game is in very good hands. A left-hander, Paul McDonald.
He's impressed me with his coolness. We've seen him 2 or 3 times this year. Here he is rolling out to his left. He's very, very cool under pressure. Here he lost the ball to Kevin Williams. One thing that's very impressive about him, in his last 84 throws, he has not had an interception, and he has completed 67% of his passes in the last 4 ball games. He is a good one, and he could very well be the difference. He's thrown 14 touchdown passes and could very well be the difference in this ball game.
The Trojans have already come into the stadium, and now the Bruins making their entrance. The Bruins 8-2. Their losses by 4 points to Kansas on the road, and losing by 2 points at Corvallis to Oregon State. It's a pretty tough conference out in this neck of the woods, and if you're going to stay up and win them all, you literally have to be up for every ball game. Terry Donahue, the head coach of the Bruins. John Robinson's Trojans, on the other hand, have had this kind of a season record. We saw them earlier this year against Alabama when they looked like world beaters, but then they lost all of their centers in the ball game against Arizona State, and the Sun Devils whipped them roundly over at Tempe. But they had a big outing last week as they defeated the Washington Huskies, which brought about this showdown today between the Bruins and the Trojans for the Rose Bowl spot. Memorial Coliseum in Los Angeles, California, and the USC-UCLA shootout. We had the big one last week in Lincoln, Nebraska. Marvelous college football game. This one could be just as exciting. USC has won the toss. They will receive Raymond Butler and Charles White, accepting the kickoff of Norm Johnson. And you look about this massive structure. Big crowd, better than 90,000. Charles Moffett, the referee. That's a veteran crew of Western officials: George Throne, Lee Joseph, James Springer. We are ready to go on a soggy field at the Coliseum. Even though it has been sunny most of the week, it is still very soft. And Norm Johnson, a freshman out of Garden Grove, California, has the ball roll off the tee. All of this buildup, the place literally quivering. We never use the word trimmer out here. If you'll pardon us, we'll just omit that from our vocabulary today. But the fever was building up, and all of a sudden, the confounded ball rolled off the tee.
I won't change the emotion, no, Keith.
Here it is.
Here goes the kick by Johnson.
It's a low sailor, and it's out of bounds.
It's out of bounds.
And it's going to cost UCLA 5. The man that USC wants to get his hands on that ball to bring it back, of course, is Charles White. As they come back to re-tee it and kick it off again, it's Paul McDonald out of Covina, California at quarterback. Charles White out of San Fernando is the tailback. Lynn Cade out of Los Angeles, the fullback, and Kevin Williams, the flanker from San Fernando. Calvin Sweeney, wide receiver, out of Riverside. And we'll re-kick it now as USC, wearing the darker colored shirts as you look at them, or the red, as some of you may see it, or the scarlet, depending on how well your television set is tuned. It'll be Raymond Butler on the bottom of your picture and Charles White on the top of the picture. And here we go again as Johnson this time will kick off from the 35. He slips as he kicks it. It's a very short kick and fielded well in the field. And USC gets the ball. First down at the 37-yard line. So the Trojans get a break as Johnson kicks off, almost fell down. Otis Page, Pat Howell, Ray Peters, they're among the people up front. Brad Buddy, one of the real good ones. Keith Van Horn, another young sophomore. James Hunter opening at tight end for USC, though Rakshani will be in there. In fact, he is in there right now at tight end. Now he goes in motion. With two men in motion, they've got a double tight end alignment now with Hunter and Rakshani both in there, and here's the handoff inside. The gain is for a couple of yards up to about the 39. Lynn Kane, a 205-pound fullback from Los Angeles, carrying the ball. The defensive alignment for the UCLA Bruins will read this way. Looking into the trenches for the big guys, Billy Don Jackson, Manu Tuiasosopo, and Don Hopwood. But those linebackers will come up and make it more than a three-man front. Muro, Robinson, Clemens, and Walker. And the secondary, Johnny Lynn, Bobby Hosea, Mike Molino, and Kenny Easley, who pretty much freelances in the secondary for the Bruins. It is second down. And 8 yards to go, a little more than 8 yards for USC. Charles White with the ball. Fumble! And USC recovers it. James Hunter, the tight end, who was trailing the play, coming back inside, saw the ball loose and caught it on the fly. It was inside linebacker Jeff Muro, number 81, who knocks it loose.
Boy, Muro really hit him here. The ball really flies up. With just a blast play to the inside. Watch Muro step in there and really put his helmet right on the ball. And very fortunately, almost UCLA interception there, or reception of the fumble, but Southern Cal gets it back.
Brad Clemens had his hand on it, but couldn't quite catch it at the 41-yard line. It's third down and 6 for USC. The first offensive possession of the ball game. McDonald sets up the throw. He hooks it to the short man, White, coming out of the backfield. And Charles goes for the first down near midfield, and we've got a penalty flag thrown on the field. We might have a holding call. He had number 24, Calvin Sweeney, cutting through the UCLA secondary, so let's wait and see. There's the indication, the man pointing toward the UCLA side of the line, and it is interference against the Bruins. I saw Calvin Sweeney working his way through there, and I know he's faster than what he appeared to be.
Well, one of the interesting things also is the fact that McDonald elected to roll to his right to the short side of the field. Let's take a look at the interference as Sweeney comes up the field. He wants to cross back to the inside. He's pushed to the outside. Oh, my.
Oh.
Yes, yes.
You could just pick one,
yes,
couldn't
you? Yes.
44-yard line, first down, Southern California. The pitch comes back to Charles White, and White slashing on the sweep to the right side, inside the 40 to the 39. That's about 5 yards, and that's a play you'll see a lot before the day's done.
Boy, that play concept there has been one of the most successful for the Trojans, and even that play could have sprung for big yardage. It was good timing, and I know this, that we're going to see that most of the afternoon.
Second down and about 5 yards to go for USC at the UCLA 39-yard line. Opening minutes of the ball game. Rakshani's in motion. They give it inside to Lynn Kane, the fullback. He breaks out of there, and he's on his way. Kenny Easley runs him down as he falls inside the 15-yard line.
Easley made the tackle.
Here's one of the problems that Terry Donahue was worried about as USC double teams inside and takes care of Tuiasosopo, and Kane was on his way.
They put a real double team on him. You see they bury him right there. I still don't know how Kane got out of that. Let's take a look. McDonald comes back. He slips the ball to Kane. And number 81 had a good shot at him there. That's Jeff Muro, but Kane got away and broke down the left sideline.
For 26 yards at the 14-yard line. First down, Southern California. The Bruins 14 with 12 and a half minutes to go in the first quarter. The crowd is roaring. They had 92,604 tickets sold. Let's go back to look at the double teaming of Tuiasosopo, and I think what we may see here is the movement of Manu out of that middle guard position to a defensive tackle, because when you are double teaming the nose guard era, you are taking away a remarkable athlete, a guy that they really need to make some big plays for.
Very true, Keith, but by the same token, Jeff Muro was clean to make the play when they doubled up on him, and he missed the tackle, or there was great running by Kane.
Charles White with the ball. He's inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. He got just about 5 yards for USC. So the Trojans are very impressive in their first defensive possession of the ball game.
And there was a big hole that opened there. They're getting some good blocking in there. One of the things that the Trojans are doing, using Vic Rakashani, actually a tight end as a flanker back, 6'3" and 220 pounds, and that's a big flanker back.
Second down and a long 5. There is movement by UCLA, but they get back. No flag, and the ball is given to Charles White. He goes right up the middle, and they double-team Tuiasosopo one more time and blow a hole. USC up front has Page at 250, Howell at 255, Peters 225, Buddy 253, and Van Horn at 250. They're not only big, but they are very quick.
And they've lost 4 centers. And Ray Peters, who was a nose man, moved over to offensive center and doing a great job for him.
Third down, they need 1 yard for the first down. The football is sitting at the UCLA 4-yard line. They have 3 tight ends in the ball game: Hunter, Rakshani, and Hobie Brenner. White. Oh, it is touchdown as nope, didn't call it. He's just out of bounds as the ball was faked beautifully to White. McDonald was out there all by himself, and number 80, Rakshani, was down in the corner and could not come up with it. Great ball handling here. As I looked at White, figuring White gets the ball, he goes down under the stack, and all of a sudden you can see the quarterback's out there all by himself.
It was a good run-action pass. Third down and very short yardage, figuring they can still get the first down on this, maybe a foot or so to get the first down there at the 4.
They'll go for 3. Frank Jordan is in to kick out of the hold of Marty King, a 21-yard field goal. Trojans trying to get some points out of this possession. Plenty of leg, and it's good. And so instead of going on 4th and 1, they go for the field goal. And they take the lead by a score of 3-0 with 11 minutes and 7 seconds to play in the first quarter.
Well, I was surprised. I thought that they would go for it. Even if they didn't make it, they'd leave the ball at the 4-yard line. It appeared from this vantage point there was only about a foot to go. But, of course, he's on the board with 3 points, and I guess he's happy with that.
Jordan now will be kicking off to UCLA. It'll be James Owens and Theodis Brown. You Trojan faithful have been seeing Rob Kerr kick off all year. Well, they've gone to Jordan in this one, trying to get a little more hang time, and they really don't want the UCLA Bruin people to get their wedge formed, and Jordan does exactly what his coach wanted him to do. He rolls it into the corner of the end zone, and there is no return. Rick Bayshore out of Fountain Valley, California, opens at quarterback. James Owens, great Olympian, will be at the tailback position. Theodis Brown in the backfield with him, fullback and tailback, and Michael Brandt, your flanker. A converted quarterback, Severn Reese, is the wide receiver. And it's first down UCLA at their own 20-yard line. Jim Maine, one of the prime offensive linemen for the Bruins, is opening the ball game, but he has a very sore leg. We don't know how long he'll be able to stay in there. USC puts a 6-man front up there, and James Owens with the ball, trying to get outside, and he gets a couple of yards, that's all. Out maybe to the 23-yard line before he is strung out and brought down by Larry Brazil. The UCLA offensive front has Max Montoya, 278-pounder. Larry Lee is at 269 pounds. Dave Ode, the center, 240. Jim Maine is in there at 250. And Bruce Davis, a tackle at 260 with Kent Brisbane, a 231-pound tight end. The ball is out near the 23-yard line. Second down and 7. Bayshore gives the ball to Theodis Brown, and Brown is nailed behind the line of scrimmage by Ronnie Lott, the roverback, who came up out of the secondary to get him.
Well, he don't know whether he guessed right or not, but he came right in there and blitzed right at Brown.
Defensively, it's Lapka, Dimmler, and Sperling for USC. Johnson, Gray, Cobb, and McGrew are the linebackers. They step into the defensive line positions to give that 6-man look. Lavender, Brazil, Smith, and Lott, the secondary. It is third down, and you've got 5 defensive backs on the field for the Trojans. On third and long, Bayshore is back to pass. He gets a pass up the middle. It is caught by Tim Reitman, the tight end, and the Bruins have a first down out at the 46-yard line. He was 0 for 10 last week, but he nailed that one.
He's off to a good start, I'll say that, because he didn't complete a pass a week ago, and right off the bat, he comes up with a big gainer.
23 yards on the throw from Bayshore to Reitman, a 240-pound freshman out of San Pedro, California. Now Charlie Moses back into linebacking position, and Crawford, a defensive back, is out. Bruins first down. At the 46, Bayshore turns, and he gives the ball to Theodis Brown. Brown is playing with a pinched nerve in his neck, and it is very sore. And no one can really know just how long Theodis can go with it.
Well, he can go all the way if he gets into the secondary. He's had a lot of long runs. You would think that Charlie White at 5'11", 183 would have all the long runs, but the longest run he's had is 41 yards. Well, Brown has gone for 74, 68, and a couple others in the 50 category.
Second down and 8 from just inside the 49. Bayshore wants to throw it, pulls it down now, and down he goes. Number 92, Rich Demler, the nose guard, had pulled as he saw the quarterback roll to the right, and with help from Gary Cobb, was over to make the tackle. Demler is a big fellow. He's 255 pounds, out of Bayonne, New Jersey, and he is one of the premier nose guards in this country. Nebraska and Missouri and the Tigers are giving the Huskers all they want this week in Lincoln. 24-21, third quarter, Nebraska now. Here goes Bayshore back to throw on third and long. He's under pressure. He's down. Gary Cobb, 53, and Ricky Gray, 35. Gray is a freshman out of Tucson. Cobb is a senior out of Stamford, Connecticut. And now the UCLA Bruins will have to kick it away as Matt McFarland comes into the ball game. Bayshore back looking for a receiver, couldn't find one. And Raymond Butler goes deep. As you see some scores coming in from around the country, with Michigan winning rather comfortably today. Trojans after it. Kick is away. Butler, fair catch, 25-yard line. Southern California leading 3-0 for a 21-yard field goal at 7:47 to go in the first quarter. With the football at the 25, that was a 31-yard punt. Not up to McFarland's standard at all. 72 degrees in Los Angeles as we watch the Bruins and Trojans. We'll be back for the first quarter in just a moment. There is a score right there that's going to have a far-reaching impact as Missouri has come back to take the lead over Nebraska, but it's still in the third quarter. And Auburn has jumped out on front of Georgia, game being played at Auburn, and the Tigers are leading the Bulldogs. From the 25, USC's Charles White carries the ball, and I don't think Charlie got back to the line of scrimmage as the blue shirts of the Bruins clobber him at the 24. UCLA with 4 linebackers in there, but those outside backers will go into almost a defensive line position with Ken Walker and Brad Clemens, the outside men. Kevin Williams in at the flanker now, James Hunter, the tight end, and Calvin Sweeney, the wide receivers, double wide to the right for USC on second down 11. McDonald in trouble. Down he goes. It was Mike Molina, the strong safety, blitzing.
A lot of eyes at the line of scrimmage. You saw UCLA was man-on-man out on the wide receivers, but they still couldn't keep the Bruins off of McDonald, and they knocked him down for negative yardage. It was a good call on the part of McDonald's part, but they did not get the protection.
A loss of 8 yards, back to the 16-yard line. Notre Dame winning over Georgia Tech 38-21, breaking the Yellow Jackets' 7-game win streak. From the 16, third and a half a mile. They give it inside to Kane. Kane bangs it out to the 21, where he's brought down. So they'll be looking now at the punt.
Excellent defensive series for the Bruins. They did a lot of right things. They blitzed at the right time, put a lot of pressure on, and they should get good field position as a result of it.
Marty King is in to kick, averaging better than 42 yards. Ken Easley is back to receive the punt. Hangs it up there pretty well, not very long.
Fair catch.
And Easley comes up to make the fair catch. UCLA gets the football in good field position at their own 48-yard line. That was also a 31-yard punt. At 8 Eastern and Pacific, 7 Central Time tonight, the Battle of the Network stars here on ABC. That's a who's who when you start looking at the roster. The bottom line of the whole thing is a lot of fun. So settle back tonight and enjoy it with us. The Battle of the Network Stars at 8 Eastern and Pacific, 7 Central Time. You'll see some athletic feats that you won't believe. First down and 10 for the Bruins from the 48. Bayshore gives it to Theodis Brown, and the Bruins have the football in Southern California territory for the first time as they reach the 49 with it. 5:44 to play. John Robinson on the phone upstairs.
One of the strengths of the Trojans this year has been their defense. They've had a great club. They've only given up 101 yards a game and 277 yards totally. So that's an improvement over a year ago.
Second down and 7. Brant's in motion. Bayshore gives it to James Owen. Brant throws a pretty good block out there on the corner. Owens coming around is brought down by Gary Cobb. So we'll look at third down for UCLA. The ball is marked close to the Trojan 45.
Using a lot of motion with the running backs from a double wing position and faking the ball in the middle, trying to hold the linebackers and trying to get Owens with leverage on the corner. Not a bad idea. Going to the short side also because the Trojans are over-defensing the field.
Third down, about 3.5 yards to go for the first down. Bayshore to put it up. Ball is patted down at the line of scrimmage. He had Owens coming out of the backfield. It looked like he might be able to get it to James, but Charlie Moses, a 6'3" linebacker, reached up and patted it away. And so it is fourth down, and the Bruins will have to punt a second time.
Yeah, they were in a trips formation that time, and he did have Owens open, but he could not get the ball to him. That's the best pass defense in the world.
Butler deep for USC, standing back near his 10.
Butler is deep.
Trojans coming again. McFarland gets a better kick this time. Fair catch, waved. It takes a UCLA bounce and rolls around, and it's going to be touchdown at about the 10-yard line. And so Matt McFarland hits a knuckleball and stops it on the soft turf down around the 10. That's where the Trojans will have it with 4:29 to go. Trojans leading by a score of 3-0. Could be a big defensive series right here for the Bruins if they have to gamble and gamble at the right time. Double tight ends in there for USC. The ball is given away to the fullback Kane, and Kane runs it out across the 15 to the 16. He got the better part of 6 yards on the carry, and again had good blocking on the left side behind Ray Peters, the center, and Pat Howell, the left guard.
You see,
Ohio State defeated Indiana today, but it wasn't easy, was it?
Ooh.
And Michigan rolled along over Purdue today to set up the Ohio State-Michigan game next week, which you'll see here on ABC for the Big Ten representative in the Rose Bowl. McDonald pitches the ball to Charles White. Oh, it's a first down. Tremendous block thrown in there by Lynn Kane, the fullback. He spun around and came across the corner, and John Robinson says he's one of the best fullbacks he's ever had.
Here's Tuiasosopo warding off Peters. The blocker trying to block him singly. Comes down the line of scrimmage pursuing, avoiding tripping over anyone, which takes a lot of agility, and he's the guy that gets Charles White. Great piece of defensive work.
It is first down, USC at the 24-yard line as they get out in a little better field position now. McDonald to Kane. And Kane gets 3 yards all by himself. Jeff Muro and Johnny Lynn, the tackle for the Bruins. Kane now has carried 5 times for 41 yards.
I've been impressed with Kane. I looked at some film on Thursday, and I'll tell you what, he's a good blocker. He does a good job for Charles White. And this is very important in the scheme of offense that the Trojans use.
Mark Tuinei, extra tackle, is in there now against Southern California for the Bruins on second down and 7. Charles White with it. Nothing fancy about it. He goes up to the 35. He's just a little short of the first down. We'll see. Pretty close. They may have to measure. White now has gained 32 yards on 7 carries. The change will come in. Well, as I mentioned, this is bowl day. Invitations are legal as of 6 o'clock tonight. And you saw that Nebraska was trailing Missouri in the third quarter, and Georgia was trailing Auburn in the third quarter. But Ohio State and Michigan both won their games in Big Ten play today.
You can imagine the scramble that's going on right now with all the committee members making these decisions. It's going to be a tough day for those guys.
We'll follow the story as we work our way through the afternoon to try to help keep you defined in what's going on as we document the scores from around the country. You saw it was a first down for USC. The ball is just at the 35 of the Trojans with 2 minutes and 55 seconds to play in the first quarter. Kevin Williams, the flanker, coming to the other side as McDonald rolls out, sets up to throw, throws, and the pass is complete to Kane, the fullback, coming out of the backfield, and he's knocked out of bounds just short of midfield for another USC first down. Michael Molina shoved him out.
Hey, that McDonald is cool. I'm very much impressed with him. He comes out and doesn't seem to get rattled. Here comes McDonald rolling out, takes a little fake to Charles White, rolling to his right, throwing left. Here he is with Kane wide open in the flat, and he just delivers it right on target. Of course, he had ample protection.
At the 49-yard line, first down USC. Williams in motion. Ball given right up the middle. The old blast as White goes thundering through there, and he runs into a fellow named Jerry Robinson, inside linebacker, UCLA, who almost certainly is going to be a three-time All-American.
Super football player, the #1 tackler on the Bruins ball club, and a great player for 3 years.
He's as good a football player as I've ever seen.
You never saw me play, Keith.
Second down and 7. Kane, fullback. He and McDonald bump together on the exchange, but Kane moves it behind the left side of the Trojan line down to about the 45-yard line of UCLA. And again, Clemson and Maryland with the Clemson Tigers, young Steve Fuller, and a game that was full of big plays. But Charlie Pell's Tigers beat Jerry Claiborne's Terrapins today 28-24 for the Atlantic Coast Conference Championship. Both those teams could wind up in a bowl. Big win today for the Tigers over a very good team. Third down and 4. Williams started one way, then came back the other, and now he's open, and he can't quite hold the handle as he runs out of bounds.
Cute little maneuver. Williams started cross field. The secondary of the Bruins rotated up, and Williams turned around, came back this way, was wide open in the flat, but unfortunately he dropped the ball.
And it brings up a fourth down, and Marty King is on the field to punt. He had a 31-yarder his first time. Kenny Easley is deep for UCLA. Spirals it into the end zone. And so UCLA will get the ball first down at the 20 on a 45-yard punt by Marty King. And ABC's Monday Night Football has a dandy for you. The Miami Dolphins and the Houston Oilers. It comes out of Houston at 9 Eastern, 8 Central, and 6 Pacific time. Miami 8-3, Houston 7-4. The Oilers we've already seen tend to jack themselves up when they get a chance at some of the big boys, so that should be a lot of fun. Trojans lead by a score of 3-0 on a field goal by Frank Jordan with 1 minute and 15 to go in the first quarter. Bayshore is back to throw. He throws incomplete. Off the hands of Theodis Brown coming out of the backfield.
Throwing into the strong suit of the Trojans, they've picked off 21 balls, but by the same token, UCLA has had a great defensive secondary record in interceptions. They've had 22.
The last time we saw UCLA, in fact, both times that we saw UCLA this year, the defense really won the ball game for them in Washington in the opening game of the season in that rainstorm we had there. And then against California, really, it was the defense that blew that wide open. Freeman McNeil is now in the backfield. Theodis Brown is out of there. McNeil has the ball, and he gets shot down pretty well up around the 21-yard line. Hit hard by Dennis Smith, a sophomore safety for Southern California.
I think you're exactly right. I think if the Bruins are to win this football game, the defense is going to have to play exceptionally well. And as you look at the turnovers and takeaways, the Bruins are plus 18 in the takeaway category. That's fumbles and interceptions. And that is a big figure.
You can see just a little bit less than a minute to play in the first quarter. Time is out on the field. Right now, let's join Steve Zabriskie for an update on what's happening between Auburn and Georgia. All right, we're back here in Los Angeles at the Coliseum. The clock running, 40 seconds to go. The handoff given to James Owen. But Owen circling out of the backfield gets to the 25, and that'll do it. And the Bruins will have to punt again. Rushing in this first quarter, Southern California has run for 71 yards total. UCLA has run for 14 yards total. But again, I'm not trying to alibi for him. I'm just telling you the facts of the matter. Theodis Brown has a very sore, painful pinched nerve problem in his neck. It's cutting down his efficiency. McFarland to punt. Gets it off and hangs a dandy. Butler comes up, waves fair catch, but USC gets very good field position. They will own the football just beyond their own 40-yard line at the end of the first quarter. We move now into the second quarter of play here at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. The USC Trojans just beyond the 40-yard line, leading 3-0. Second quarter has been a big scoring quarter for them all season long. McDonald turns, gives to Kane. Kane, the fullback, to the 45. Better part of 5 yards. USC has scored in this season, in the second quarter, 103 points to the opposition's 6. Turn around and look at UCLA. You can see the Bruins have counted 86 points in the second quarter, and Nebraska now has come back one more time to lead Missouri 31-28. That is a wild one.
Sure is. I think McDonald's slipping that ball to Kane to take the keys away from the Bruins on Charlie White.
Second down and 5. Just beyond the 46. McDonald sets up to throw it. He's got a man. The pass is complete to Sweeney. And Sweeney is at the UCLA 45-yard line. First down, Molina, the tackle for the Bruins.
Easley and Molina on defense.
Sweeney is looking to the inside. I don't think this was an audible call. I think it was pre-called. He comes up the field, he reads zone, turns back inside of the zone coverage man, Bobby Hosea, and the first down.
At the UCLA 45, Trojans are leading on a 21-yard field goal for Frank Jordan, 3-0. Charles White. And Charles is down near the 42 for a 3-yard pickup.
Didn't look like anything at all, but he still picks up yardage.
The stats in the first quarter, you can see the Bruins only getting 14 yards on the ground against 71, and I'll guarantee you the Bruins have got to move the ball on the ground if they're going to have a shot at this game.
Exactly right. The defense is playing pretty steady in here, even though they've given up some yardage.
Second down, long 7 or a short 8. Rakshani in motion for USC. McDonald gets to White. White skips along through the middle in traffic and moves the ball to the Bruin 37. Dwight Ford's in there now. It's Dwight Ford, number 22.
Easley hadn't been in there to fill that hole. That could have been a long gainer.
Oklahoma pulling away from Oklahoma State 28-7. Ford has come out now, and White's gone back in for USC. It comes up on third down and short now. In case you're wondering what's going on with Penn State, they're not playing today. They're waiting for Pittsburgh on the 24. Third down, and about 2.5 yards for the first down. White. He's got it, and then some. The penalty flag goes down as Charles White runs inside the 30 to the 29. Let's check the penalty call.
Looks like a holding call. Yep.
Trojans. 15 big ones. It'll back them up considerably. Talking about Penn State, that's next Friday at 1 Eastern time as the Lions, looking for their first ever national championship, play the Panthers in Penn State. That's a special edition of NCAA football next Friday at 12:30 Eastern time. Joe Paterno and his football players are sitting, I'm sure, today watching and listening for all the results as they come in, because Paterno and the Lions have to be particularly interested in what's going on in Lincoln, Nebraska, because for a while it looked as if it might well be Penn State and Nebraska, 1-2 in the polls in one of the bowls, the Orange Bowl, but that Missouri bunch giving the Huskers all they want. It's third down, 11 now for Southern California as McDonald goes back to throw. He has the pass deflected, but Rakshani comes up to get it at the 35-yard line.
I think it's just short of marking the ball of the first down.
Mark Tuanay was the man, I think, that got his hands on it. You see Rakshani, big guy coming out there. He's tough to handle.
He's also using his hands in there pretty good.
The ball is sitting at the 35. They need about a foot for a first down. On fourth down, will they go for it? In the first quarter, they chose not to go for it and took the field goal instead for their 3-0 lead. Now they will go from the UCLA 35, needing a foot for the first down.
UCLA's going to the goal line defense.
Kane gets the first down as he punches over the right side. He went behind Van Horn and Buddy, and he got his first down.
Sometimes it's a gamble to take a chance going into your goal line defense because you're committed to man-to-man coverage, and a guy pops through there, you can go for a big play. But they settled for the first down, and it was well blocked.
Ball is right in between the 32, 33-yard hash marks. Story on Len Kane there. First down, Trojans. They've got Charles White in motion to the open side of the field. McDonald rolls that way, throws to White, get him out there one-on-one. He's looking for some help, doesn't get much as he runs down to the 30. There's a penalty flag. Left laying back over here where they started that play. So there must have been some kind of an infraction along the line of scrimmage as the play was developing. And it's going to go against the Trojans. So it's USC now making some mistakes and blunting what appeared to have the makings of a success.
May have been illegal motion.
Well, Charles White was so far away from the counter, it could be that he turned up a little soon.
Well, looked like Hunter might have moved. James Hunter.
Charles Moffett, the referee, marks it back up at the 38-yard line. Procedure call against USC. It is first down and 15 now for the Trojans at the Bruin, or near the Bruin 38. Both teams now with 20 yards in penalties. Sweeney and Williams go double wide to the open side of the field, hand it off inside to the fullback Kane. Bruins pinch him and get him at the 36, a 2-yard pickup. Billy Don Jackson, number 88, the big sophomore tackle out of Sherman, Texas. Primary tackler there.
Keith, I think something of significance here in this ball game that I didn't anticipate is the fact that this field is holding up much better than I thought it would. The footing appears to be all right. We're into the second quarter, and it looks like they're getting fairly good traction.
They put grass clippings and sand and whatever else they could figure out would help dry it out. Has not rained this week, but it sure did rain last weekend. McDonald, he gets a pass off just as he is hit in the end zone. It is touchdown, Calvin Sweeney. Brad Clemens was just a fraction of a second late getting to the Trojan quarterback.
I actually thought that Brad Clemens had made enough contact with McDonald that he was not going to get anything on that ball, but he released it and he put it right on Sweeney's numbers for a touchdown. Great play.
A relatively poor piece of work by that Bruin secondary back, though. The ball was lofted up in the air, and he just never picked up the ball. Here's the extra point try now by Frank Jordan. He hooks it, but squeezes it just inside the upright. And so at 10:32 to go in the first half, a 36-yard scoring strike, and the Trojans lead 10-0. The Los Angeles Coliseum with the Trojans getting a 36-yard scoring pass from Paul McDonald to Kelvin Sweeney. There's Kelvin. Bobby Hosea was back there defending, and either he didn't pick up, he just simply couldn't have picked up the ball because I'm sure he could have reached it. Brad Clemens was just a fraction of a second late getting to the quarterback. Here's the kickoff. It goes into the end zone. It's going to come out. Out to the 15-yard line, Theodis Brown, and coughs the ball up. Ball rolling around.
Fumbled the ball.
Chip Banks was down to really pop him. Let's go back to the touchdown for a moment now. Watch the pass. You'll see number 99 in blue come through there and just almost get McDonald.
You see how close this could have been to negative yardage. Watch, right there as Clemens hit. I didn't think he could get enough on that ball, but McDonald really threw a great pass. Bobby Hosea is just short of it. And, of course, Calvin Sweeney gets the score.
Bruins have the ball first down at the 15-yard line. Hand it off inside to the big guy, Brown. He fumbles, and the Trojans have it. The first turnover, and on the ball is Gary Cobb, number 53. And here's USC now with the football, first down at the UCLA 17-yard line. Trojans are leading 10-0.
Tough kind of break. You don't want to do that against the Trojans.
Brown loses the ball in the melee along the line of scrimmage, and here's USC in business. Georgia has tied Auburn in the fourth quarter, 22-22. Big opportunity here for USC. McDonald to White. White hit behind the line of scrimmage, but spins away from Clemens and gets back to the line of scrimmage. That big sophomore out of Auburn, Washington, played a lot of football here in the early going for UCLA.
Got a lot of penetration that time. Could have created negative yardage, but White managed to escape, get back to the, well, I guess got a yard or two on it.
Yep, got back close to the 15. Call it 2, second down 8, USC. Bruin 15.
Watch for a run action pass here.
Williams and Sweeney are the wide men. Kane, the fullback, penalty flags on the field. He punches to the 13-yard line.
Looked like he called it a line of scrimmage play, either motion or offside.
Well, Trojans continuing to make little mistakes up along the line of scrimmage, and it's expensive for them. That's going to cost them 5. You know the Bruins are going to take it and back them up 5, even though it'll give them that extra down. You have 9 minutes and 41 seconds to play in the first half. USC on top, 10-0.
Let's go, ready! 1, 2, 3!
Rick Burns has run for 213 yards in that ball game. Nebraska leading Missouri 31-28. Wilder, a big running back for Missouri, has scored 3 touchdowns.
Oh.
Tom Sorley, the quarterback for Nebraska, has been hurt in the game and is out of action right now. And it's also the 100th consecutive home sellout in Lincoln for the Cornhuskers. Charles White has come out now, and Dwight Ford is in at tailback. The 5-yard penalty moves the ball back to the 20. It is second down and 13 for USC as you look down on a crowd of better than 90,000 people in the Los Angeles Coliseum. Goodyear Blimp, Columbia, with Captain John Clayton flying overhead. McDonald back to throw. He throws short to the back coming out of the backfield. Dwight Ford. Ford inside the 15, down close to the 13, maybe the 12-yard line. He had Sweeney and Williams, with Sweeney going toward the right corner and Williams to the left corner, but didn't want to risk it. He took the sure route and got pretty good yardage out of it.
It appears that the motion and the changing of formations by Southern California is creating problems for the secondary of UCLA. They're making a lot of moves back there, and when that happens, it creates a lot of thinking that you should be thinking about settling into position and playing football, but they're trying to determine where they have to go.
Third down, a little better than 5 yards, just short of the Bruin 12-yard line as McDonald gives the ball away to Glenn Kane, and Kane running hard inside the 5 to the 4. It's first down, USC. Tremendous run by Len Kane, running over the left side behind Page and Pat Howell.
A little delayed draw in there, and he came back to the left side. They had overloaded the field to the wide side of the field, and he just came back and did a great job of running. You know, for the first time in a long time, the Trojan fullback is coming into this game at 736 yards, which is unusual. They're generally just blocking backs.
Charles White back in at tailback now. Dwight Ford out for USC. First and goal to go, Bruin 4. Send Rakshani back to the other way. Penalty flags go down. White dives into the end zone, but hold on. There is a penalty flag that came out of referee Charlie Moffitt's pocket. Procedure, USC. Touchdown doesn't count. Program a special exclusive of ABC Sports. Let's pause 5 seconds to allow our local stations to identify themselves.
35, KAPP, Yakima.
John Robinson, Trojan coach, obviously unsettled by these circumstances. It is the third procedure penalty against USC. Their total penalties now 4 for 30 yards. The ball is moved back near the 9, where it's first and goal to go.
Looked like Williams might have been moving towards the line of scrimmage just before the snap.
Concentration. Very important here. Rakshani, same kind of a play. Give it instead to Kane, the fullback, and he's down to about the 6. It'll bring up second down and goal to go. Well, I don't know how it is down on the field area, but I know it's pretty noisy sitting up here with 92,000 plus people just taking a deep breath makes some noise.
I think it's the first time I've ever seen the Coliseum this filled. There isn't an empty seat in the place. Unbelievable. What a sight.
At the 6. Second down, goal to go. White. Stand him up at the 5. Ken Easley, number 5, a sophomore out of Chesapeake, Virginia, hit him right on the numbers.
That was a picture tackle. That's he really stopped him. Of course, Easley's one of the great athletes, I think, on either one of the two teams.
It wasn't White either. It was Ford, 22.
Was it Ford?
12 and 22.
Yeah.
They're both quick as the dickens. Ford's out, White's in.
Big play here. Ball's on the 5-yard line. See if McDonald goes to the air.
Split backs this time. Maybe too much time. Yep.
I'll be darned. Doesn't seem like it from up here. It surprises me. But he's got that ticker down there that rings a bell.
So, one more time, the Trojans absorb a little 5-yard penalty to take away some of the authority of this possession. As the ball is put back at the 10-yard line, it's third down and goal to go.
It's 35 yards in penalties against the Trojans. Costly ones.
White in motion. This time Paul wants to put it up. Goes. Oh, touchdown. Great catch by Kevin Williams.
Kevin Williams caught the pass. You want to see what 18 yards and 8 plays. McDonald to Williams for the score. Jordan will kick. King will hold.
Little Kevin Williams got away from Ken Easley. McDonald drilled it. He came up with a great catch. Frank Jordan's extra point try is good. And so at 7:36 to go in the first half, Southern California marches out to a 17-0 lead, and watch this catch.
They got one-on-one. They went to man coverage, was trying to blitz McDonald. Williams, you see, Easley is trailing him. He's lost him. And here he comes with a diving touchdown catch. Look at this.
Kevin Williams has caught 14 passes this year, 9 touchdowns. Well, despite all those little mistakes, the Southern California Trojans put it in the end zone after recovering the fumble. Taking 17 yards. Easily caught in a blitzing position, could not get back to cover the man. And I'm not sure it was Kenny's responsibility to get back and cover that man. Whatever. Williams is in there for the touchdown, and the Trojans lead 17-0.
Somewhere he got caught in the wash there because he was trailing him. It made it a very difficult coverage for him.
Jordan kicks it off. He kicks it to Brown. He fumbles the ball. He picks it up on the ball. And he comes back to about the 17, and there he goes down. Another look at the touchdown.
You can't see where Easley gets caught. McDonald comes back, sets himself, and delivers. And watch Sweeney Williams reach out and make a super catch. There's another one as he releases off.
Well, you see, Ara, that East is up there on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, but he's covering him man to man. He made one false move with his left foot, and he was one step behind him. Yep, they were in man to man. Easley took his eye off of him just momentarily, it appeared to.
From the 18-yard line,
UCLA has the ball, and here they come now. Into the lineup, it is Marvin Morris, number 46, a 222-pound senior out of Carson, California. The other running back for UCLA is Freeman McNeil, number 31. Traveler 3, Dick Sacco. He's a grandpa in his late 50s. He never went to school in Southern California, but he's very much part of the legend. I told Eric Farsigan a little while ago about the horse slipping and falling on the wet track last week. And you know what? He said, I wish I'd have been here. Second down and 3. Bayshore to put it up. Looks for Severn Reach. Now goes over the middle with it. The pass is incomplete. The pass intended for Kent Brisbane, the tight end. Auburn, Georgia. Final score, 22-22. Alabama, thus, is the only team left in the Southeastern Conference with an unblemished record. And if Alabama can defeat the Auburn Tigers on December 2nd, then Alabama will represent the Southeastern Conference in the Sugar Bowl. And it's not beyond the pale of possibility that Penn State, if Nebraska should lose today, could wind up against Alabama in the Sugar Bowl. Here's McNeil to the outside. And Freeman McNeil runs for what appears to be the first down for the UCLA Bruins. A third down sweep that works to the 30, and it is a first down. There's going to be a lot of dancing around before midnight tonight with all this bowl business.
There's a lot of things happening, and you still don't know who's going to be in what bowl. How about those committee members trying to make up their minds?
Herb Ward is in the defensive secondary, number 23 now at cornerback, replacing Larry Brazil for Southern California. First down for the Bruins at their own 30. They trail by 17, 17-0. Bayshore, fumble. Bayshore coming back with the ball on the handoff, seemed to lose his footing for a moment, and at the same time the soft footing seemed to affect Freeman McNeil a little bit, and between the two of them they laid it on the ground.
Exactly right. The timing was off because he did slip on that play, and Bayshore could not get him the ball. Fortunately, they recovered.
Next Saturday, doubleheader time. Michigan, Ohio State, 12:30 Eastern. That one decides the Big Ten rep in the Rose Bowl. Notre Dame in Southern California, right here, same place. Get to drive to work 2 weeks in a row is a weird experience. Second down, 14, Bayshore. Pass over the middle. Pass is complete to Brisbane. Brisbane out for a Bruin first down at the 46-yard line.
Well, you know, I came into this stadium and led Southern California by 17 points and also 24 points, so this game isn't over. There he just comes straight up the field, and he gets into the seam between the two zone coverage men, and Bayshore is back on target this ball game after a very poor 0-10 passing performance a week ago at the Oregon State game.
First down for the Bruins. The football is at their own 46. Bayshore gives the ball to McNeil. Freeman breaks it big. Caught by Herb Ward and goes down at the Southern California 39-yard line. I don't think there's any question but what Terry Donahue is going to have to play this young man, Freeman McNeil, a lot today because of the pinched nerve problem of Theodis Brown. But McNeil is going to become a very prominent man in the years to come for these Bruins.
Well, they went back to the things they know best, which is the running game and from the beer. And the shortest distance between the point that they're looking for is a straight line, and that's what he did there.
McNeil, 208-pound sophomore, and he has the ball again. And on first down from the 39, he rams it down to the 36. Dennis Smith brings him down.
Well, he was averaging, Freeman McNeil was averaging 5.4 coming into this ball game on 343 yards. So he's had a good year.
James Owens is in now. McNeil is out. Marvin Morris stays in there at that blocking back position. He's a former defensive lineman. Bayshore back to throw on second down and 7. Good protection, goes over the middle. It is intercepted, and a penalty flag is thrown. Hang on, Herb Ward comes up with the interception. Every time I go see Ward play a football game, he intercepts somebody, and he went up with a great play that time.
See what the call is, Keith.
Oh. Offensive interference.
Severn Reese comes down and curls over the middle. He's awful deep. Could not see where the interference was, but you can see the interception there by Herb Ward. Here's another look at it. Just rolls out to the right, Bayshore does. He's got two receivers on the backside. He's trying to get the ball to Severn Reese. There's plenty of time here. There's Severn. He threw the ball, what would have been right there, but Ward stepped inside and picked it off.
At 4:41 to play first half, Southern California stops the Bruins. They get the ball first down at their own 13. They lead 17-0. They give it inside to the fullback Kane. Kane met by Brad Clemens and stacked up right about the line of scrimmage. Arthur Akers, number 39, helping. The outside linebacker and the inside linebacker. And in 8 minutes to play in the fourth quarter, Nebraska continues to lead Missouri by 3. The weekly polls may have some play in who decides which bowl they want to go to. Nebraska has this kind of war with Missouri, and the Trojans win big here today, or could Alabama move up? We'll just have to wait and see. That's part of the fun. After the 20-yard line comes Dwight Ford, the 195-pound senior out of Bell, California. So it's going to be 3rd down and 3 for USC right near the 20.
Playing it conservatively, getting out of that poor field position. 3rd down and 3. Let's see whether or not they come to a run action pass. Oh, they got a timeout here.
Time called at 3:43 to play in the first half. USC leading UCLA 17-0. The Los Angeles Coliseum with better than 90,000 people in it. 3:43 to go in the first half. USC controlling the football game 17-0. Have the ball. 3rd down 3 from just short of their 20-yard line. Georgia and Auburn have played a 22-22 tie today. Big game in the Southeastern Conference. Rakshani is in motion, and the handoff goes to the tailback, and it's short of the first down. Dwight Ford gets it out just beyond the 21. He had to go to the 23. That'll bring up 4th down, and surely a kicking down.
Marty King is way behind his average. He's been coming into the ball game. He was averaging 42.5, but he's in the 31 to 33 category.
Marty King, the punt. Bruins are coming, gets it away. Might be a little room here for Ken Easley. Nope. Trojans down in a hurry. Shirt tail him at the 40-yard line, dragged out of bounds. Some of the other scores from around the country now. Oklahoma 35-7 over Oklahoma State. Michigan beating Purdue 24-6 to set up another Michigan-Ohio State shootout. There's that 22-22 tie in the Southeastern Conference. Leaving Alabama the only team down there with an unblemished record. Texas rolling over TCU at halftime. Notre Dame beating Georgia Tech 38-21. And the Irish continue, I'm sure, to be a very popular bowl possibility. And they play USC here next Saturday. It's part of our doubleheader with Pittsburgh warming up for their contest next Friday against Penn State, which you'll also see here on ABC. The handoff is over the left side for UCLA as they move it from just beyond the 40. Freeman McNeil carrying. And the youngster out of Carson, California, gets about 3 yards. Looking at the AP poll last week, as you see other scores, there's only 6 points difference between Nebraska and Alabama. The UPI poll, there was only 2 points difference between Nebraska and Alabama. So if the Huskers have a tough time of it, and obviously they have been having a tough time, it's possible that the posture in the poll could change.
Everybody will be waiting with anticipation.
And that's what Joe Paterno wants. I'm sure his Lions do, to play the top-ranked team. As Bayshore goes back to throw. He's chased out of the pocket. And the young man from Fountain Valley is run down at the 46-yard line. Rich Dimler, number 92, the nose guard, came in to force him into the running position, and finally the Trojans chased him down. They'll give him to the 47, approximately, and bring up 3rd down.
Not having much opportunity to throw the ball, they're flushing him out very quickly. Protection's breaking down, and one of the things that Terry Donahue has had a very tough time this year. He has had to act as the tackle and tight end coach as well as the head coach.
Time call, 2:14 to go, first half. The Bruins call the timeout. UCLA Bruins 3rd down. They need the better part of 4 yards for a first down at their own 47. They're trailing 17-0. Rick Bayshore gives on a delay to Freeman McNeil. He's got his first down and then some. big, strong sophomore goes all the way to the Southern California 43-yard line. Marvin Morris, who's in that backfield with him, threw a big block to get him turned upfield.
Good draw play call on that play, on that particular series there, because Southern Cal had deployed in anticipation of a pass for the first down, and there was a big hole open on the left side.
Bruins really need a touchdown before the half is done, as we move inside 2 minutes. First down at the Trojan 43. Blitz is on. Good blocking for Bayshore. Passes away. Pass is incomplete. The pass intended for Michael Grant. Defending on the play, Herb Ward.
Yeah, they just don't, I don't believe that UCLA has the flank speed in their receivers. And this is also contributes probably to Rick Bayshore's low percentage average during the course of the year, although in addition to that, UCLA is not prone to throw the ball that often.
Timing on that play was the obvious missing factor, though, because the man was open as he made his cut. The ball was late getting there. Second down and 10. Pass. Bayshore throws short. Gain is to the USC 39. James Owens out of the backfield making the reception.
Well, they've got 2 timeouts left and a minute and 36 seconds.
USC sends in Willie Crawford, a 5th defensive back. They bring out a couple of linebackers. Charlie Moses comes out of there. Gary Cobb comes out of there. No, it's Ricky Gray, I guess, who came out. And now Moses goes back in, and the Trojans will have to spend the timeout.
They were followed up on their substitutions there.
Joe Cribbs in that big ball game between Georgia and Auburn today ran for 250 yards. Joe Cribbs. I suspect the Auburn Tigers would have been more involved in the hunt for fortune in the Southeastern Conference this year if their young man Brooks, the other running back, had not been hurt. But Auburn, like a lot of teams, not that deep. If they keep all 26, 28 of their people healthy, then they're in pretty good shape. But it's hard to do. At halftime today, we'll have a Fireman's Fund flashback featuring a look at Eddie Lee Ivory of Georgia Tech, who set a new NCAA record last week. We'll have reports from the Purdue, Michigan, Georgia, Auburn, Clemson, Maryland games. We'll see the Trojan marching band, and we'll have a news report for you from ABC World News tonight. Minute and 16 seconds to play in the first half, and USC has dominated the first half of play. Fourth quarter, Missouri has scored on Nebraska to regain the lead, 35-31. It's third down here between the Bruins and the Trojans. UCLA on third down and 7. Bayshore is under pressure. Cannot get it away. Trojans sack him. Ty Sperling, number 63. Myron Lapka and Rich Demler were coming. It was Demler who got there to put up his arms and shield vision from one side. As he turned the other way, you'll see 63 Sperling get him.
And see, Bayshore comes back, and he apparently has a lot of time. Demler, number 92, keeps working on him and puts him over to Sperling, and that is a lot of negative yardage.
12, as a matter of fact. Snap is high to Matt McFarland, but he gets it away, hangs it. Beautiful kick. But it's in the end zone. So with 32 seconds to play in the first half, McFarland hits one 51 yards. It just trickled in the end zone. We got a penalty flag thrown back at the goal line. UCLA's final game of the season. The Trojans have one more against Notre Dame. And UCLA had somebody going downfield too soon, ineligible man. The Trojans will take the football and run out the clock with a 17-point lead. Ball is at the 20, 32 seconds to play. 2.5 minutes to play in that ball game. Wilder got the touchdown for Missouri, his 4th of the ball game, and it's a 4-point lead for the Tigers. A stunning upset in Lincoln. Well, they said that Warren Powers would bring his people in there to play a tough game, and obviously he has. First down, Trojans. McDonald drops back to the 15 and sits down to start the clock spinning. The Bruins have one timeout remaining. And we'll see if they want to spend it and make USC go through the procedure of another snap. They have 2 timeouts remaining. The Trojans have 1.
Well, they'll just be going to be content. There's not much you can do about it. The clock will run out, and this half will end.
So the clock runs down. The first half is history as Southern California leads at halftime 17-0. We'll be back with more after this word about an upcoming ABC program and a word from our local station. A quick summary of the scoring in the first half. Frank Jordan's 21-yard field goal in the first quarter gave USC 3-0 lead. Then a 36-yard pass, McDonald to Sweeney. Jordan's kick made it 10-0 in the second quarter. And then Williams, a 10-yard catch, Calvin Sweeney and Kevin Williams both getting touchdown passes to make it 17-0 at halftime. USC over UCLA. Well, you never know when there's going to be that bolt of lightning, what team is going to get ambushed where and when, and where you're going to have the next spectacular performance. Well, we had one of those spectacular performances we think you should see last weekend in the Rocky Mountains. And that is part of today's Fireman Fund Flashback. And today's Fireman Fund Flashback is brought to you by Fireman's Fund Insurance. And Fireman's Fund Insurance is brought to you by an independent agent near you. So let's have a look at a young man who put himself in the college football history books 1 week ago today. The Rocky Mountain country of Colorado, the Air Force Academy and the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets against the Air Force Falcons. A cold day for the Southern boys, but they scored big with this young man, Eddie Lee Ivory. Georgia Tech tailback leading the Engineers with 356 total yards in one game as the Jackets won 42-21. The air thinner than most of these Tech players have ever breathed. But Ivory, a senior who has blossomed this year with the change of the Tech offense, whipsawed the Air Force defenses for 356 total yards on the ground for a new NCAA single-game record. That beats the mark of 350 yards set by Eric Allen of Michigan State back in 1971. These were the conditions for Eddie Lee Ivory's record-breaking performance. 20-degree temperature, 25-mile-an-hour wind. Chill factor well below 0, but Eddie Lee just kept on running and running right into the college football history books for Georgia Tech. Now we continue. All right, David, we're ready to go with the second half of play in our ball game here, and one of the revealing things as SC gets ready to kick off to UCLA, the Bruins have not really been able to hold on to the ball in the first half. The longest possession they had was the first time they got it at 3 minutes and 20 seconds, ran off 6 plays, and that's been pretty much the story. A turnover also hurt him. It's Theodis Brown taking the ball at the 4-yard line, and Brown comes back up to the 18-yard line. Down he goes. So the offensive unit for UCLA now as they take the field for this first possession of the second half. Bayshore at quarterback, Owens, Brown, Brandt. There's a penalty flag on the field. And the offensive front, it's an illegal procedure call against Southern California, will be Reese at a wide receiver. Montoya, Lee, Odie, Main, Davis, and Brisbane will be the big guys in the offensive trenches. So UCLA now to make a decision whether or not they want to make USC kick over again. You would think they'd want to and give them a chance at posturing the ball offsides, called by the referee Charles Moffitt. So that'll back the Trojans up to the 35-yard line. That's how we started the game.
Keith, it's very apparent that Theodis Brown's injury has certainly slowed him down. He doesn't seem to have the same zip that he's had in previous ball games, and it's awful tough to play hurt. Here we see the halftime statistics. You can see the dominance of Southern California, particularly in the yardage, 201 yards to 93, and the significant yards passing of 88, but there were 2 touchdown passes by McDonald, and he's having a great afternoon with 6 of 8 in the first half and 2 TDs. And he has now completed 67% of his passes in the last 5 games that he's been involved in.
Ready to go with the kickoff again. Looking at the time of possession era, you let USC have the ball 7 more minutes and you've got it, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, I meant to point that out. That's a very good point.
All right, Jordan will kick off for the Trojans from his 35. Bruins have Owens and Brown deep. This time Brown lets it go, and it just hits the corner of the end zone for a touchback to the 20-yard line, and there UCLA will put it in play. The University of Southern California defensive bunch. Let's have a look at it. That's Big Myron Lepka, one of the down linemen. Rich Dimmler, fierce fellow from Bayonne, New Jersey. Ty Sperling, big sophomore. Dennis Johnson out of Flint, Michigan, is a linebacker. He's a youngster. Here's another freshman, Ricky Gray, at linebacker. A lot of young people on this Southern California team.
They're really high on Ricky Gray. Earlier in the year, they were playing Chip Banks, and another freshman, and they moved Gray in there, and he's having a great season.
Raymond McNeil opens at the running back position with Brown up close, and Theodis Brown has given the ball, and he dives it over the left side, and he takes a pretty good wallop. And I'll guarantee you, if a guy's got a sore neck, that's not the place he ought to be putting his head. The linebackers and secondaries, Gary Cobb, Larry McGrew. There are a couple of linebackers. Tim Lavender is a cornerback. Larry Brazil, a cornerback for the Trojans. And Dennis Smith at safety. He's only a sophomore. And Ron Lott, the free safety, also a sophomore. Herb Ward is in there, however. Brazil was shaken up early in the game, and he did not come back for the second half. Michael Brandt in motion, second down and 6. It is Freeman McNeil with the ball. McNeil gets around the corner, and Herb Ward knocks him out of bounds. Coming over to trying to make the block for the UCLA Bruins, but not quite able to get him out of there, was the center, Odie, and Davis, number 71.
You think that free safety, Dennis Smith, who you alluded to here just moments ago, is not a great athlete? He can high jump 7 feet 2 inches. He ought to be able to get up and get a few interceptions.
That's right. McNeil now, 7 carries and 43 yards. He is the leading rusher for UCLA. The Trojans now on 3rd down and a long 2 put in the big guys, the goal line defense. 3rd and a short 3, or a long 2 as Bayshore comes down the line, and he is spun down for a loss. Reaching in, Myron Lepka, number 96, a junior out of Chatsworth, California. And so the Bruins will have to punt from their 25. Lepka made the play.
Bruins have had poor field position most of the day, with the exception of 1 or 2 times in the second period. And the Trojans have held, forcing a punt again.
I don't know what I'm paying it for.
McFarland hits it at the 15. He had a little pressure. Gets it off. Pretty good kick. Butler comes up and makes the catch.
Butler takes it.
Raymond Butler dropped it midfield. And so USC takes over after a 33-yard punt by McFarland. First down. It's just going to be over the midfield stripe on the UCLA side. So it's the Trojans' first offensive possession of the 3rd quarter.
1st and 10 on the Bruins, 49-yard line.
Ball is just over the midfield stripe, as you can see, as McDonald sets USC. Sends Rakshani wide to the left. Gives the ball to Charles White, the tailback, and White hits it down inside the 47 for 3. The SC offensive backfield unit, McDonald, White, Kane, and Williams, and Kane was really outstanding in the first half. Up front, the offensive line unit, Hunter, Van Horn, Buddy, Peters, Powell, Howell, Page, and Sweeney.
Kane grabbed off 66 yards in that first half.
He caught a couple of passes and turned in several thundering blocks. 2nd down and 7. Williams moves out wide to the right side. McDonald delays it, gives it away to Charles White. White gets a big block from number 71, Brad Buddy, and he is going to be short of the first down. As he gets close to the 41, he's got to go to near the 39. Jerry Robinson, linebacker, UCLA, 84.
One of the great linebackers in the country. Here he comes flowing with the play and moves right over and grabs Charles White after he picks up about 3 or 4 yards. He's a good one.
And it's 3rd down, 1.5 yards for the first down for the Trojans at the Bruin 41. White had the ball pop up under his chin as he hits at the line of scrimmage and comes down inside the 40, but how far inside? It'll be close. They will measure with 12 minutes and 14 seconds to play in the 3rd period.
Looks like they have it from this vantage point, although it'll be close.
The big upset of the day, Missouri beat Nebraska 35-31. Auburn and Georgia played a 22-22 tie. Other games, Clemson defeated Maryland in a big ball game for the ACC title. Chains down.
Well, short.
Just short.
I'll check my eyesight.
Well, you are a considerable distance away from the playing area here in Los Angeles. Long way. That is if you're sitting in a press box.
Never worked. All three.
John Robinson's made up his mind now. The play has been called. Just inside the 40. Change of place. 4th down. Need about 6 inches. And they'll go. Kane don't know if he made it. Bruins stuffed him right at the line of scrimmage.
But they held.
Well, you got some horses in there. Tuiasa Sopo in the middle, Don Hopwood and Billy Don Jackson, 252, 242, 231. They will measure.
Well, they get right down in there low defensively, and they root right underneath the blockers so that they can't drive them out of there, neutralize the offensive force, and they did do a great job on that defensive play. Let's see whether or not it happened.
Bruins hold. Take over the ball. 1st down. Right near their own 40-yard line. Could be a lift.
Sure could.
Battle of the Network Stars tonight here on ABC. From ABC's team, Gabe Kaplan is the captain. For CBS, McLean Stevenson. For NBC, Bob Conrad. It'll be a lot of fun. 8 Eastern Pacific, 7 Central Time. Here come the Bruins. 1st down at the 40. Bayshore down the line on the option, gives it to Brown. Brown fumbles. He got a little bit of room over there as he turns it upfield. He's ridden out of bounds by Herb Ward. Dennis Johnson, number 56, caused a little concern. Watch him do his thing.
He fires right straight through, and it actually forces a, let's see how that pitch is. No, the ball was gone. It was right in Brown's hands. Very fortunate the ball bounced right back up to him. But that was a good pitch. Looks like we might have a roughing call.
And while you are watching the replay here, 15 yards are being marched off against Southern California, and the referee is indicating that it's a face mask penalty against the Trojans. The ball is moved now back to the SC 42-yard line, and Herb Ward apparently grabbed a hold of the face mask as he tackled Brown. 1st down, Bruins at the Trojan 42. Bayshore gives to McNeil. And McNeil is ridden out of bounds by number 49, Dennis Smith.
McNeil's about the only guy that's been making positive yardage for the Bruins. He was 6 for 38 in the 1st half, while Brown was 4 for 8, and Owens was 3 for 12.
11 minutes and 50 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter, and Southern California sitting on a 17-0 lead. They scored 3 in the 1st quarter, 14 in the 2nd quarter. 2nd down and 6. Ball is handed off inside to Marvin Morris. Morris is decked at the 35. Picked up 2. Mr. Dimmler involved in this, number 92.
Great nose man for the Trojans. Has been there, played that position a number of years. You see him right over the center. He's driven off here, but then he slides off the blocks. They're trying to rake through on him, and he avoids the blockers and comes back and helps them on the tackle.
When you weigh 255 pounds, you're 6'6", and you're from Bayonne, New Jersey, with a fierce beard and flaming eyes, you respect it. 3rd down, they need 3. Blitz is on. Bayshore rolls away from it. Down he goes, and right into Ty Sperling. Number 63, Ty Sperling, the down lineman, tackle, read the play. The Trojans were blitzing from the right side, and Bayshore rolled away from the blitz all right, but Sperling gets his 2nd quarterback sack of the game, 3rd sack by the Trojan defense, loss of 13 yards. Here's McFarland to punt.
It looked like a 10-flat 100 man the way he was chasing Bayshore there. He's got great speed.
There's a penalty flag.
Now we'll see who moved first.
Where there was an offensive lineman, I'm not sure that contact was made. There appeared to be some encroachment by one of the USC linemen, but it could have been the result of movement by UCLA.
No penalty.
There is no penalty. Now they've got it organized and will proceed. Snap is from the USC 48. McFarland back at the 38. Trying to hit it soft and let it drop inside the 10, but it takes a big bounce and goes on through the end zone. A 47-yard punt. Time is out on the field. 10:16 to play third quarter, and the Trojans lead 17. Final score out of the Southeastern Conference today, and a very big one. The Georgia Bulldogs and the Auburn Tigers play a 22-22 tie. And Missouri upset Nebraska in Lincoln 35-31. Southern California's football. First down at the 20. They lead 17-0. McDonald gives the ball to Charles White. White slashes over the right side and comes up to the 26, maybe the 27-yard line. Joe Paterno has been in conversation with some of our people from New York and has indicated that he may have some comment relative to the immediate bowl future of his Penn State Nittany Lions, who finish their season next Friday against Pittsburgh. So Joe's ready to say something. He'll let us know, and then we'll let you know. Second down and the better part of 4 yards. White again with it, and Charles is across the 30, out to the 31, and USC gains with White carrying 11 yards in 2 plays. Terry Donahue's Bruins are beleaguered. White now 16 carries and 67 yards. He's a junior. He's back next year. From the 31, give it to Lynn Kane. Kane is out to the 34 for 3 yards. 2nd and 7 coming up. Some of the other scores from around the country today, with Syracuse beating Boston College 37-23. Rutgers knocked down Holy Cross 31-21. Dartmouth beat Princeton 28-21. Games in the Ivy and eastern part of the country, with Yale winning today, and Brown. Cornell, Big Red, beat Pennsylvania. Florida edging Kentucky. Good ball game there. 2nd down, 8. Let's call it, with White getting some blocking on the right side of the line, and White is up across the 45. Tremendous block by Buddy. Number 71 got him going. He's also a junior, back next year.
The backside guard pulls on that play. They fake up the middle, and then they give the ball to White, and Brad Buddy pulls 6'5", 253, and can really move.
Yep, his daddy is Ed.
You bet.
Who knocked down a lot of folks before he quit playing, didn't he? First down. Very near the 45-yard line for SC. They lead 17-0 with 8:25 to go, third period. White again. Up, that's Ford. 22. Ford. And getting good movement. White has been troubled throughout his collegiate career at SC. Ooh, look at what Johnny Major's Volunteers did today. But White's been troubled by leg problems. LSU gets upset by Mississippi State. He looked very sound on that carry as he wiggled in there for about 6. 2nd down, 4. Just over midfield at the UCLA 49. Fullback Kane to the 47 for 2. It'll bring up 3rd down and short yardage. White now is 46 yards short of becoming the Pac-10's all-time leading rusher with a year to go and a game to go.
You imagine that when you're talking about the O.J. Simpsons and the Garricks and the Davises and the Bells. And here's another one in the long line of the Trojan tailbacks, and he's not as big as the other guys.
3rd down, 2. White and he will not get the first down. Dogged, determined defensive pursuit by UCLA. Jeff Muro, 81, and Ike Gordon, 92. And White is held short of the first down, and that probably will bring on Marty King, the punter. They're marking him down at about the 47. Leaves them 2 solid yards short of the first down. Ohio State beating Indiana today. And that sets up the Michigan-Ohio State battle next week, where Ara Parsegan's gone, and where they, as you saw in Max Robinson's news report, they've got a lot of snow and ice up in that upper Midwest. King bobbles it. Bruins get it. Back at the 40. The UCLA defense playing a gutty ball game and keeping their hopes alive.
Well, he had a good snap. He just flat out dropped the ball.
Ball is at the 41. Snap was a little high. Took the eye off of it, I suspect. Whatever, the Bruins have it at the 40 of SC. 17-0 ball game. Bayshore gives the ball to Freeman McNeil. Penalty flag goes down at the line of scrimmage as McNeil punches to the 35 for 6. Let's check the penalty call. Looks like the umpire threw it.
The Bruins want to get back into this ball game. They've just got to get on the scoreboard, and here they come up with a holding penalty.
Oh.
They got a break and then turn around, and now they've got going to wind up with 2nd and 25, or 1st and 25.
It looked like it was Lewis Sharp, 67, holding Dennis Johnson, number 56. Iowa State beat Colorado today. Earl Bruce's Cyclones. Kansas State beat Kansas, 36-20. They'll have a new coach in Kansas next year. Arkansas stayed very much alive in the bowl picture, too, with a 26-7 victory. And Rice beat Baylor. Look at that. 1st and 25 for the Bruins, back at the 44. They keep it on the ground, but not for much. Gain is out to about the 46 with Freeman McNeil carrying. Texas Tech and SMU having a good one today. Hey, the Red Raiders, Rex Dockery hadn't done that badly down there, picking up after Steve Sloan. 16-3, Stanford leading California at halftime. Arizona State leading Oregon State, the team that beat UCLA last week. Time remaining, 3rd quarter. 2nd down, and 23 from the 46. Short pass is complete. Gain is up to the 49-yard line as Tim Reitman came across to the sidelines to make the catch.
They're not going to get anywhere near the end zone completing passes for a yard or 2. They've got to come up with bigger plays.
The problem is there's a whole lot of big old long-legged folks wearing red back there. That's a problem.
They can run and jump.
Bayshore now 4 for 9, 48 yards and 1 interception. That's Grant in motion. Bayshore to throw. Goes deep, got a man wide open down the middle, and the pass thrown to the short man is incomplete. James Owens was down at the 15-yard line, and I mean he was home free.
Hey, when he saw the ball go off in another direction, you could see him put his hands on his hip in disbelief. Bayshore just missed him.
Was thrown to Reitman, the short man, but Rick just didn't see him. But my goodness, he was wide open. McFarland to punt.
Failed to capitalize on another field position opportunity and a turnover.
Butler lets it go. It takes a Bruin bounce, and Bruins down it right about the 5-yard line as Marvin Morris was downfield to catch the ball on the bounce. They'll put it at the 6, where USC has it, but they lead 17-0. Next Saturday here on ABC, doubleheader time, Michigan, Ohio State. That's a Rose Bowl game. Notre Dame, USC follows. That's one of the long-running intersectional rivalries in this country, one of the great ones. Here come the Trojans now from the 6-yard line. Handed, oh, fumble! Bruins have got it. I think they do. Manu Tuiasosopo in the middle.
created some kind of problem in here to Sosopol. Here he is, number 40. He's right over Peters. He slides in behind him, gets penetration, and gets a hold of Kane, gets his arm in there, and shakes the ball loose. A big turnover opportunity again for the Bruins. Got to capitalize on this one.
First turnover by the Trojans. As Billy Don Jackson covered it, it's first and goal to go UCLA at the Southern Cal 6-yard line. Theodis Brown lines up in the backfield with James Owens. Owens has the ball. He's to the 4, trying to slide outside. Larry McGrew was out there wrestling with him along with Ricky Gray.
Slide, trying to run the dive play, the veer play to the outside, but the Trojans slide right with it.
William Banks is in the lineup now as they get the extra linebacker in for the Trojans in their goal line defense. It's second down and goal to go just inside the 4 for the Bruins. Ball given to Theodis Brown. Brown punches down close to the 2-yard line. Tough yards. The down linemen are Latka, Dimler, and Sperling. The linebackers are Cobb, Johnson, Gray, Banks, McGrew.
Dimler in on the tackle. I think they can hear it from here. Touchdown on 3. Touchdown, ready. 1, 2, 3.
3:50 to go, third quarter. Third down, goal to go. The Bruins are a man short. Bruins are messed up. Now they get the man out wide to the right side. Count heads. Is that 11 or 12?
Motion.
Oh, my goodness. Then goes into the end zone, James Owens, but there's penalty flags all over the field as the Bruins were messed up.
Well, there was motion on the play. I think that Bayshore probably should have stepped away from center and called timeout rather than to take this 5-yard penalty it's going to come. They were short a man. Then they had motion on the play that was legitimate motion. And then they had illegal motion by a flank back.
It's now 56 yards in penalties for SC in the game, 40 yards in penalties for UCLA. And the ball backs up to the 7. Third down, goal to go from the 7. Now they're probably got to go to the air. Brown and Owens. And the backs, they move Owens up into a slot. Now Bayshore calls timeout.
Maybe he didn't like what he saw defensively, and he's going to the sideline. His cause would have been better served that he had done it the play before.
Bruins now have 2 timeouts remaining. 3 minutes and 33 seconds to play in the third quarter. UCLA with a great opportunity, but the handle is not as long as it was. That's next Saturday, but let's look at what's about to happen here on third down and goal to go for UCLA at the Southern California 7. Bayshore to pass. Throws it short. Pass is caught down at the 6-yard line by James Owens. It'll bring up 4th down and goal to go for UCLA. They had the ball, third down at the 2, got all screwed up. Got a 5-yard penalty, backed them up to the 7. Now it is 4th down, just inside the 6 or just short of the 5. And the UCLA kicking team has come on. Peter Burmeister is going to try a field goal. It will be a 22-yard field goal try from the right hash mark for the left-footed kicker. And he knocks it through. So, Burmeister, 14 of 19 this year in field goals. The UCLA Bruins are on the board at 2 minutes and 54 seconds to go in the third quarter. We have received information from the athletic department. Joe Paterno, the football coach, Ed Checkeye, the athletic director at Penn State University, and the Nittany Lions say they will play in the Sugar Bowl against the winner of the Alabama-Auburn game. Well, I'm not sure it would be the Alabama. See, Auburn and Georgia tied today. If Auburn should beat Alabama, then a decision would have to be made between Auburn and Georgia, I guess. But if Alabama defeats Auburn, the information that we have from the University of Alabama is that if Alabama beats Auburn, then the Crimson Tide will represent the Southeastern Conference in the Sugar Bowl against the Nittany Lions of Penn State. Joe Paterno looking for the game that will warrant for his Nittany Lions a national championship. UCLA Bruins on the scoreboard.
Oh.
Kickoff is way through the end zone and beyond the reach of the Trojans, and USC will bring it out at the 20 now. And they'll have it. First down.
Keith, I think that if Auburn does beat Alabama, I believe that Auburn would go to the Sugar Bowl because I think Georgia was there previously.
That's right. I guess that's true.
And but that's an interesting turn of events that has occurred this afternoon.
And it hinges on two things. Three things, actually. 22-22 tie Georgia-Auburn. Missouri beating Nebraska 35-31, and the fierce desire of the Nittany Lions for a national championship. First down, USC at the 20. Not much there for White as Tuiasosopo slid through there, and down he went.
He's some kind of football player. There he steps to his left, neutralizes the blocker, stands him right up, throws him off, and steps right in and puts his number right on Charles White. Charlie knew that someone was there. Whew.
Got a yard despite being manhandled. Second down, 9. Kane, the fullback, yard lost. Hit behind the line of scrimmage by Arthur Akers, number 39, an inside linebacker who punched through the blocking.
A bit of a momentum shift in this contest, and we've seen it before. Team leading now has not been able to generate a first down. Has fumbled deep in their own territory, has given up 3 points, and now having difficulty moving the ball.
It'll be third down and 10. White in the game, 20 carries, 86 yards. Kane, 17 carries, 69 yards for SC. Third and 10. Ball given to Charles White. He gets out to the 26. There the Bruins get him. Arthur Akers, number 39 again. And now SC's going to have to kick. The UCLA Bruins get the football back. If they handle it all right, they'll have very good field position.
Now, you know what happened to Marty King the last time he was back there to punt the ball? There's a turnover opportunity for the Bruins, and if this occurs again, they'd have terrific field position. They'd be right back in this contest. Here they come.
High snap again. Ooh, it is off. Not a very good kick, but it's a pretty good roll. In fact, a very good roll.
He really got more out of that than he deserved on the punt. Well, they put a lot of pressure on him, and he kicked a low ball.
Mike McDonald does the snapping for USC. And again, just to simply acquaint you with the basic facts of the circumstance, Southern California centers that they started the season with are all hurt.
Boy, he made a great grab of that ball. The ball was snapped high, and he had to get it away rapidly, and the ball was kicked low. Look at here. He might have gotten a piece of that the way that ball reacted, although it rolled very favorably for the Trojans.
Yeah, rolled 25 yards for a 45-yard kick. First down, UCLA at their own 29-yard line. They're trailing by 14 points. Come on. The handoff goes over the left side to James Owens. He's a 188-pound senior out of Sacramento. And he's out to the 33-yard line for 4. 40 seconds left to play in the third quarter. Southern California scored on a field goal, 21 yards in the first quarter, 2 touchdowns in the second quarter. The Bruins have come back now with a 22-yard field goal in the third quarter, as the UCLA defense has played tough here in the second half. In fact, they played a tough game all the way. Blitz is on! Oh, wow. Ronnie Lott, he timed it just right, read it just right, and got the Bruin quarterback before Rick Bayshore had a chance to even get it thinking about making a play.
Keith, you've got to suspect that the Trojans know the starting count, the snap count of the Bruins, because he really timed that perfectly, right on it.
Third quarter is over. After 3, a 17-3 ball game, SC. We go to the final period of play in the football game between Southern California and UCLA. Bruins have the ball at their own 29-yard line. The line marker says 3 on it. Third down. They trail by 14 points. Bayshore to throw it. Now he'll run it. He's got some room. He's got just enough foot speed to get him across the 40 to the 41 and a first down.
This is one of the things that Bayshore can do. He can run that football. Although they've had a lot of negative yardage on passing attempts, he scrambled out, picked up the first down, and going to keep this drive going.
Trojans have sacked the Bruin quarterback 4 times for a minus 33 yards, and those are the numbers for the 3 quarters. You can see UCLA's total is only 69 yards on the ground for 3 quarters. Bayshore hands the ball off, and a lot of helmet bumping down in that trench as he penetrates to, appears, the 43-yard line.
I think that's the biggest difference in the Trojan team this year as opposed to a year ago, is the quickness of the defense. They react immediately to run plays, as evidenced by the fact they came into this ball game leading the conference in rushing defense with only 101 yards, and they do swarm to the ball.
2nd down 8. Theodis Brown got 2. Trojans fake the blitz, now back off. Bayshore back to throw it. Loops it downfield for Owens. James does not hold on. The ball was just a little short. He had 2 steps on the Southern California defender.
Tell you what happened there. Ricky Gray had him one-on-one, and he couldn't stay with him. They were in man coverage. You'll see even Lott came up. He thought it was going to be a tight end screen to the right side, but here Bayshore turns and throws back. Owens has got the ball, and you'll see Ricky Gray here trying to cover him one-on-one, but he's 2 steps short. He lost him, but Owens dropped the ball.
.13:44 to go in the ball game. 3rd down 8 for UCLA. Bayshore to throw it. Sperling is over there making 1 more tackle on the afternoon. That's the 3rd time he's hit that quarterback behind the line of scrimmage. I was absolutely fascinated by a scuffle that was going on between 2 big linemen and one of the UCLA people blocking Lapka. And I can't see how in the world he got away without a holding call, but he did. That's the 5th sack in the ball game. And
Sperling move?
Yeah, really it's tough. Fast. 4th down, McFarland is in the punt. Gets it away, Butler at the 30.
Butler takes it.
And back to the 34. Timeout. 12:53 to play in a ball game. 36-yard punt. Trojans lead the Bruins 17-3. Once again, the 2 scorers that have really turned these bowl situations around today. Missouri beating Nebraska 35-31. So Nebraska will go to the Orange Bowl. In this one, Georgia-Auburn 22-22 tie, which probably has cost, or may have cost, Georgia a chance to go to the Sugar Bowl. In fact, you can say it has cost the Bulldogs a chance. Here's SC now from the 35-yard line. Charles White dancing down the sidelines, gets up across the 45. Looks like it'll be a Trojan first down. Got a good block from little Calvin Sweeney. Now, well, he depends on your perspective as to how little he is. He's 6'2", 184 pounds.
He did get a good block with him. He stayed right with him, and I was watching there very closely. I thought they might see a flag down there, but he just wasn't a clip. It was pretty close. He just sustained the block.
Charles White now has gone over 100 yards of the ball game. On 22 carries, he has 102 yards. First down Trojans at their 45. They lead 17-3. 12 and a half minutes to play in the ball game. McDonald has not put the ball up in the second half. Pass for 2 touchdowns in the first half. Now he'll throw it. Shoots it to the sidelines and hits his man. Pass is caught on the far side of the field by Calvin Sweeney, who made a touchdown grab back in the first half of the second quarter.
Once again, we see the durability of Charles White. He's had the ball 22 times this afternoon, plus 100 yards, and he generally carries it about 28 times a game, and he's, you know, for that size, it's incredible.
Yep. Tough. Out of the I formation, second down. Again on that pass play of 9 yards. They need 1 for the first down. The ball at the UCLA 46. Give it to White. Charles spins it. Goes to the 43. First down, Southern California. Clemens and Hunter got into a bit of a scuffle, but no flag.
Well, they separated them in a hurry.
White forward into the backfield for Southern Cal as Charles White comes out for a little breather. See now that Charlie has passed Ricky Bell. He has only Anthony Davis to pursue. He didn't have to really travel all that far to catch him. At the end of the season, he could be the all-time rushing leader for Southern Cal, and that is something. This is Ford. And Dwight Ford is strung out by the Bruins, and the tackle is made by number 42, Ken Walker, an outside linebacker with Billy Don Jackson there, and it's been a long afternoon so far for Terry Donahue.
UCLA defense continues to hang in there in spite of not being able to put any points on the board offensively. They're at the top. They've got some good football players in there. Manu Tuiasosopo, Robinson, Easley. Good defensive team.
Second down, 11. Out beyond the 43. Ford just kept wiggling, and the hole kept staying there, and he's down to the 35. It'll be about 2 yards they need for their first down. Third down and 2.
The thing that is impressive on that play is when they turn the corner, not only the runner, but all the blockers generate momentum, and they're liable to run that thing outside, back clear over the center, off tackle, over the guard, and that's why it's so difficult to defend it.
Third down, long 2. McDonald has it, throws it, has a man wide open, James Hunter. The ball was thrown a little bit high. And Hunter would probably have skipped right on in for 6 had he been able to make the catch. Billy Sims had another one of those days, didn't he? 209 yards as Oklahoma rolled up 62 points in beating the Cowboys 62-7.
I think they were mad about last week. Woo. 62.
Oklahoma obviously a bowl team, but the question is which one?
Coming after them again.
Marty King trying to knock it out, but it skids into the end zone. And at 9:48 to play in the ball game. The UCLA Bruins get it one more time, but they get it at their 20, first down, and they trail by 14 in the ball game. Southern California right now trying to sit on that 14-point lead and go to the Rose Bowl. Reset it one more time. The Rose Bowl is on the line. Southern California leads 17-3. UCLA relatively ineffective all day offensively. They have the ball. 9:48 to go in the game. First down at their own 20. Bayshore put it up. Maybe. Nope, he won't. He is hit from behind. Penalty flag goes down. The ball popped loose. The Trojans have the ball. Larry McGrew, number 57, looping from the outside, hit him.
They never had a chance. Every receiver was covered, and I mean covered well. No one open to throw the ball to. He had ample time, but he was finally knocked down. He recovered his own fumble.
And on top of all of the grief, they get a holding call against them, which will cost them 10 back if the USC Trojans decide to accept it. And they probably will. Then on the other hand, they may not. Nope, they don't want it. They'll take the down.
And the loss. They've got about 6 yards.
Here's some of the news beginning to come through on the Liberty Bowl. Is a lock. That's the matchup. Missouri off that win today over Nebraska, getting in against LSU. The Gator Bowl will be Clemson against the loser of the Ohio State-Michigan game, which you'll see next week. And we told you earlier, Penn State going to the Sugar Bowl against the winner of the Alabama-Auburn game. Outside, Freeman McNeil tries to go. He gets out there a little bit, but not a whole lot as Ronnie Lott runs him down with 9 minutes and 25 seconds to play in the ball game. And it's going to bring up 3rd down and about 11 yards to go. You got to figure that Notre Dame is involved in the minds of the people in the Cotton Bowl and the Orange Bowl.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. We still don't have any news on who they have selected.
Notre Dame's got another game here next week. Bayshaw's pass over the middle. Oh, what a great catch by Michael Grant out at the 38-yard line. He was well covered. The pass was perfectly thrown, and Michael just did a heck of a job getting it.
Keeps weaving to the outside, and he's funneled out by Ron Lott. Ron Lott stays with him. And the ball, look at him go up for that ball. Great catch. Lott couldn't have been in much better position.
And the Bruins are off the hook. They get a 1st down at their own 38 with 8:40 to play in the game. Time now the obvious ally of USC. Well, they put it on the ground. And the gain for Brown is out to the 43, or it's Freeman McNeil, rather, number 31. He got about 6 yards on that carry. But the clock runs. 8:20 to play in the game.
They're going to have to come up with some big gainers somehow. Don't know whether they can do it running or passing, but the clock is against them.
The Goodyear Blimp Columbia out of Gardena. Down the road, Captain John Clayton. The cameraman is Mayo Partee. Bayshore to throw it. Gets his pass off. Pass is complete up to the 46. It's short of the 1st down. Freeman McNeil coming out of the backfield to make the grab. Sun Bowl now has confirmed Texas against Maryland. The Sun Bowl in El Paso. Texas against Maryland. The Tangerine Bowl has Pittsburgh and North Carolina State. So Ted Brown's going to get a chance to play in a bowl. Arkansas has accepted a spot in the Fiesta Bowl. The other spot not named yet. Blitz is on, and it works. Number 49, Dennis Smith, the strong safety, blitzing. And the Bruins get knocked down.
I haven't seen the Trojans blitz this much in all the years that I've watched them. They're guessing right. I don't know whether or not they have any keys, whether they're smelling out the cadence. Here you see him, he hesitates, then he gets through before the center. Dave Otte gets a hold of him, and he's in there making the play.
Time is called by UCLA, 4th down. They need 6 for a 1st down, 7:01 to play in the game. ABC's NFL Monday Night Football this week. This coming week, Miami Dolphins and the Houston Oilers under the dome at 9 Eastern Time. Miami 8-3, Houston 7-4. Bob Greasy, Delvin. You got to see 2 great running backs in that game. Delvin Williams for Miami and Earl Campbell, who's had a heck of a year for the Houston Oilers. Here's UCLA on 4th down. They will punt it. They have 1 timeout remaining in the ball game. They're down by 14 points. And the kick is away by McFarland to Raymond Butler. Fair catch ball. Trojans have the ball. 1st down at their own 23-yard line. That was a 35-yard punt.
Terry Donahue felt that there was plenty of time with 7 minutes left to go ahead and punt. At least he's got the Trojans back in their own territory.
Well, I tell you, 4 and 6 is truly a desperate situation the way things have been going.
Yeah, well, there's still, any kind of turnover here. I've seen things in the last quarter, last 2 minutes of a ball game, 2 or 3 scores occur.
There's a big horse right there that's played a major role. Ty Sperling, number 63. Here come the Trojans now, 1st down. McDonald gives the ball to Charles White. White slashes in for 1 yard. That's all. And Manu Tuiasosopo laid right in the middle there and held his ground.
He's playing one heck of a football game. See number 40 there, the 4. Rolls to the outside. Whoa, he's being held in there, too. And he comes back and makes the play anyway. You got to really grab onto him.
2nd down and 9, SC. Their own 24. 6:25 to play in the game. White. Yeah, that little guy, 183 pounder, just keeps on coming, doesn't he? Brad Buddy, the big offensive guard out in front of him, runs right over and picks him up.
Boy, he took a real shot that time. I thought he was hurt, but he just bounces up and gets right back into the huddle. He's durable. I mean, he really got popped that time.
It'll be 3rd down 3, Southern Cal. Shadows reaching way out into the playing area of the Coliseum now. White. Oh, boy, he got hit that time. There was a blue shirt came from the right corner and just nailed him. It is Brad Clemens, number 99, a sophomore out of Auburn, Washington, and I want to tell you, you won't see a harder hit, I don't think, in your life.
Nobody picked him up. Kane went in motion. He just pitched the ball off. White's looking for somebody, and no one touches him. And you talk about White not being able to take it. He took another shot. That's 2 in a row that he's really been hit, and he just gets up and goes right on.
4th down and 6. Marty King's punt. Low liner. Kenny Easley touched it. Downs it at the 18. They'll mark him at the 19.
That was another good bounce for the Trojans, and Easley must have just touched that ball. He must have nipped it. Went back and recovered it.
Next Friday, Penn State bound for the Sugar Bowl, looking for a chance to win a national championship, the first one ever. Takes on arch rival Pittsburgh at State College. You'll see it here on ABC at 1 Eastern Time, 12 Central. And then on Saturday, this is what we have. Michigan, Ohio State. The winner to go to the Rose Bowl, the loser go to the Gator Bowl. Notre Dame and USC play here. SC hangs on to their lead. They go to the Rose Bowl. You got to figure Notre Dame is going to be a bowl team, but we'll see. Michael Grant, former quarterback, throws the pass way downfield is incomplete. The Bruin bench is screeching that Herb Ward pushed Ricky Kaufman coming downfield, but they don't get a flag.
Well, it looked like he might got a piece of him on the play. Let's take a look at it here, see whether or not he gets his hand out. He's got his hand here. He's going for the ball. Here comes a long pass.
Yeah, he hit it.
Well, he reaches out with his left arm as he falls. And, of course, he got the adequate response from the Bruin bench.
But no flag, incomplete pass, 19-yard line, 2nd down, 10. Bruins, 5:20 to play in the game. Bayshore looking and looking. Now throws it deep. He throws it for Severn Reese, who's got it. He's gone. It is an 81-yard touchdown. The Trojan secondary went to sleep, and the Bruins get an 81-yard bomb. Tim Lavender let him get away from him. Bayshore threw the ball era, I think, just about as far as he could, and you can see by now that Severn Reese was gone from Lavender.
He put it right in there, too, and he beat Lavender on the play. Biggest pass play for the Bruins in the entire season, and this game with 5:10 left to go is 17-10. Reese just comes straight up the field. Bayshore had enough time. He weaves in, then he weaves out behind Lavender. Right here, goes beyond him, and Bayshore puts it right in there, and he outruns into the end zone for a score.
Lavender was gaining, but end zone came too fast for him. The UCLA Bruins are very much alive, thank you, at 5:10 to go in this ball game. 17-10, the Orange Bowl has confirmed Oklahoma-Nebraska rematch in their game on the night of January 1. UCLA's kickoff. Fielded by Butler. Butler is spun around and down at the 19-yard line by Dave Gomer, number 43. Now, this got a UCLA defense will try to muscle it up and take the ball away from Southern Cal. 17-10 ball game with 5:05 to play.
I know one Trojan that's a little bit nervous about this. Big John Wayne, who probably thought this game was pretty much in the bag, and now they've got problems.
They do, for a fact. From the 19. McDonald asks for quiet. It is no place to gamble. Make a mistake down here and turn it over, and the Bruins could jump on them real quick. Naming our offensive and defensive players of the game in just a few minutes. 5:05 to go. Folks at Chevrolet giving $1,000 for the General Scholarship Fund of the school in the name of the players chosen. First down at the 19. Most of the noise is coming from the UCLA side of the field. They get the play away just in time as Charles White breaks it out and comes up to the 28. Almost popped out of there. One more look at the Bruin bomb. 81 yards, Bayshore to Severn Reese.
Just a classic weave in and weave out. The important thing about this pass is that Bayshore had ample time to get it off. And, of course, Severn Reese did run by Lavender. And look at him outrun him into the end zone. He's catching up with him, but not soon enough.
Second down and 2 for Southern California. Handoff goes inside to the fullback, Kane. Kane is stacked up at the 29. He is short of the first down. Manu Tuiasosopo.
Well, what these two coaches are thinking, oh, that Robinson says, I need a first down. Terry Donahue is saying, hold him here. We need that ball back. We're going to win the ball game. Going to score a touchdown and go for 2 points. Ooh, I know the feeling.
Aren't you glad you're up here?
I am.
4 minutes to play in this game. 17-10. Third down, half a yard for a first down. McDonald backs off. Says he cannot make himself heard to his team.
How about this one, Keith? Which one's going to be the home crowd on this one for the when you get a discretionary timeout or you get the crowd noise not quieted down?
All right, here's some clarification on the Sugar Bowl. It'll be Alabama or Georgia. If Auburn should beat Alabama, Georgia would still get the call to go to the Sugar Bowl. Double-checked it, and that's the way it figures up. Here's Charles White diving for the first down at the 30. Got just enough. He needs now 19 yards for a new Pac-10 career rushing record.
Well, that first down will give him an opportunity to bleed more time off that clock. It's still 3:47 left to go, which is ample. UCLA will try to hold him here and get the ball back. Trojans are going to try to keep it.
Alabama and Auburn will play on December 2nd. Georgia and Georgia Tech will play on December 2nd. Of course, the Tech-Georgia game is not a conference game. One more point of clarification. First down, Southern Cal. And they give the ball to Charles White, and he's got 5 more yards. He now needs 14 to become the all-time career rushing record holder.
I think the amazing thing is Charles White is carrying that ball, as we have spoken earlier. But UCLA is lined up in an 8-man front, anticipating run. The secondary is up there close, and he still picks up 5 yards.
Now we've got him at needing 13 yards to tie and 14 to break the record. And he's got a full year to go.
Look at the number of guys up there on the defense.
Second down, 5. 2:50 to play in the game. Trojans trying to sit on the ball. They give it to White again, and Charles breaks it big. Out across the 40 to the 43. Pat Howell just destroyed one of the Bruins to open the door for Charles White. Big guard, 255-pound senior out of Fresno.
Now, those are 2 big first downs that the Trojans have just put together. They got the clock running for them. Even if they're forced to punt now, UCLA would not get good field position. UCLA needs a fumble.
First down, USC, their own 43. 2:29 to play in the game. It's White again. Charles trying to go around the corner, gets 1 yard as he gets it up to the 45. He was just outside, just inside the 44.
I think that's the first time I've seen him all afternoon make the wrong cut or the wrong move.
Yep. If you come back inside, he had a little room.
Yep.
Two minutes to play in the game. Needs 3 more yards to tie 4 to become the all-time runner in Pacific 8, now the Pac-10. pitches for 2 more. It'll bring up 3rd down and long for Southern Cal. And now John Robinson's got to make a decision. Put it up or sweep it.
So does Terry Donahue. The clock is running against him. He's only got 1 timeout. When does he decide to use it?
1:30 to play in the game. The winner goes to the Rose Bowl.
Right to the tunnel.
Some feeling that UCLA, if they lose the game, will not go to any bowl. That is not confirmed.
This is it, right?
3rd and long. Give it to White. He's got his record. He's got a 1st down, and I think Southern California may have the football game. With 1:11 to play, Charles White sweeps it left. He went behind a wall of people. Pat Howell, Brad Buddy, 255, 253. Charles White is now the all-time rushing leader in the Pac-10.
What a deserving performance. We got good blocking on that play. A little misdirection. They appeared that White was going to come to the field, and then they gave him the ball, and he went back to the backside. Look at that yardage record. And what Charles White has accomplished was still a year to go.
1st down, Trojans. Charles White has to be your offensive player of this ball game. Got the ball again. Got more yardage as he goes inside the 40 to the 37. Defensive player of the ball game, Ty Sperling, number 63, Trojan tackle, who had on 3rd and 7, a 12-yard minus yardage sack. On 3rd and 4, he sacked the Bruin quarterback for 12 yards. On 3rd and 8, he sacked the Bruin quarterback for 9 yards. UCLA has just spent its last timeout. Only 31 seconds to play in the ball game. 2nd down and 5 Trojans. USC can sit on the ball, run out the clock, and win their 9th game of the season. Lock up the invitation to be the host team in the Rose Bowl against the winner of the Michigan-Ohio State game next week. So the University of Southern California will receive from Chevrolet, in the names of Charles White and Ty Sperling, $2,000 for their general scholarship fund. And I'm sure that Dr. John Hubbard and everybody, Dick Perry, the athletic director, are happy about that. We will not have a post-game program for you because the game has run a little longer than we anticipated. Though these games this time of the year often do take a little longer than you might expect. Charles White on the day, 33 carries, 145 yards. In the 2nd half, 98 yards.
Boy, he is something.
And most of those yards coming at a time when they needed him to keep possession of the ball and keep the ball game in hand. McDonald takes the snap, comes back, starts the clock, and that should have been the last play of the ball game. And so a crowd of more than 90,000 people here at the Los Angeles Coliseum see the USC Trojans continue to beat the UCLA Bruins. Very seldom a rout. It's generally a tough ball game. It was tough again here today. But the Trojans jumped for 3 points in the 1st quarter, 14 points in the 2nd quarter. They've not scored in the final period. The Bruins got an 81-yard touchdown bomb in the 4th quarter. And the final score, as time runs out, Southern California 17, UCLA 10. John Robinson going across the field. Terry Donahue coming out with UCLA Chancellor Chuck Young. He's always on the sidelines with the UCLA football team, and so John Robinson will find the fireside a comfortable place tonight as he runs over to talk to some of the UCLA players. These young players all know each other. Many of them played against each other in high school. Charles White, the offensive player of the game, played out in the Valley, San Fernando High School. USC was able to kill the final 5 minutes and 10 seconds of the game once they got the ball back after the UCLA touchdown. So they sat on it for 5 minutes and 10 seconds, and they won the ball game by a score of 17-10. Southern California, the Pacific 10 Conference champions, they go to the Rose Bowl. UCLA fought to the last bitter second, but could not overcome the Trojans on this day. Other big scores today affecting postseason bowl games now. Missouri upset Nebraska 35-31. Nebraska still goes to the Orange Bowl against Oklahoma in a rematch. Missouri to the Liberty. Georgia-Auburn played a tie. Now we must wait for the Alabama-Auburn game before it's determined which team will be the opponent of Penn State in the Sugar Bowl, whether it'll be Alabama or whether it'll be Georgia. Once again, our final score here in Los Angeles, Southern Cal 17, UCLA 10. Flip provided by the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. Travel arrangements made through, promotional fee paid by United Airlines. United built the largest airline in the free world around you. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world